Welcome to Buzz in the Tower, a podcast dedicated to the movies of the 1980s and the 1990s. I'm Mo Shapiro. Joining me in the room, in the boublier, that's not the right word, but you know, Max Sanders, my co-host, my friend.
I'm the best of the best.
My lover. Today we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about
the most realistic science fiction movie of all time.
We're going to talk about the 1998 movie Armageddon.
Blockbuster.
This movie,
Earth-shatterer.
You know, we did a couple episodes years ago, and I can say that because we've been on the air for years, about guilty pleasures.
Yep. This is it.
This might be, because, you know, you talk about Howard the Duck and how but this might actually be the greatest guilty pleasure
I think
ever.
this is the most embarrassingly wonderful movie for men.
I'm ashamed at how much I love this movie still.
Do you cry? I cry 4 times.
We're going to talk about it.
I have 4 times listed.
But you've got this weird tear duct thing. Like, we'll be talking about, like,
what do you mean?
We'll talk about like Half Baked, and you're like, oh man, when he breaks up with Mary Jane. I give these weird tear triggers. But anyways, let's talk about the show.
This movie makes you cry. There's a whole office scene where Dwight makes fun of Michael.
If this is your first time with the show, please rate, review, follow us, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, any podcast player, we're on it. Definitely check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com @Buzz in the Tower. That's where you can see us. That's also where you can see our amazing t-shirts. I am wearing one right now. Our sponsor is 80stees.com. I'm wearing my Miyagi-Do shirt, which is my favorite one.
You excited for the new Karate Kid? Or
No.
It's Jackie Chan.
I mean,
the kid looks pretty cool.
I know. I mean, look, Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
You know, I'll suckle from that teat for a while.
It has the same vibe. Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay.
I'm not ready to pronounce it DOA, but we'll see. Social media, @Buzz in the Tower is our tag. BUZZ on the Tower, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all the prevalent and important platforms, but TikTok's the big one. Although soon I'll say Facebook is the big one.
Don't check Twitter. Twitter's all porn.
Yeah.
It's gross. Like you search anything.
Speaking of
the fourth thing you come up is porn.
No, speaking of porn.
Yeah.
All of a sudden on my TikTok feed, I start getting full frontal nudity.
Seriously?
I went to ChatGPT to ask what was going on.
That's disgusting. Where is it?
Take my phone, fix this. But it's like, because you and I have made videos for the podcast where there's like a little bit of blood and it's like censored.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Knives,
I'm like, you know, what do they call it? Not death scrolling or
doom scrolling.
Yeah. And I'm like, boom, boom. I'm like, oh.
So I got one of the Bluetooth rings.
I got that one. I got one of those for Trish for like Hanukkah or something.
I tried it. It was too weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the weight in my hand.
Patreon.com/Buzz in the Tower. Support the show. BuzzInTheTower.com is the website, and that covers everything we got to cover.
Yep.
All right. So we're talking about Armageddon. But before we talk about Armageddon, I have to tell you, I started rewatching Rick and Morty.
Always a good idea.
Yeah, well, the new season's out soon.
May 28th, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Real soon, like a week.
They have like the Easter priests from space or something like that.
And I love Rick and Morty.
It's the best.
It's really the best. And the episode,
I'm in.
You son of a, we could go down a rabbit hole. The episode where it's like the clones creating clones. Not clones. The robots creating robots.
Yeah.
Robots. They're not called robots though. What is it that she thinks that she might be a?
Oh,
is it a clone?
It's a clone.
It's a clone. Okay, whatever.
Or Beth thinks she's
but remember
not the real one.
So the one episode where they like the clones all of a sudden are creating clones, and then you have like a wooden version, and you have like a lizard version, and there are all these different ones.
I remember.
Okay, so the wooden version, right? Like Jerry escapes at the very end, and the end credits of that episode, Jerry is floating down a river as wooden Jerry, and he is attacked by a bunch of beavers, and they hollow him out, and like while they're doing it, he's like, why can't I die? Why I don't want to live? And like then they make a nest and the beavers and then like hundreds of years pass, right? And all of a sudden he's in some like cowboy saloon hung up as like an ornamental, you know, picture or something. And he wakes up, he's like, why am I still alive? And they're like, witchcraft. And then they burn him at the stake and they go through this iteration of all this. While this is going on, I just noticed this. The song Who Wants to Live Forever from Highlander, Queen song, Who Wants to Live Forever. And again, Highlander being about, you know,
immortality.
Yeah. And the montage in Highlander when this is going on is when Connor McLeod's with his wife and they're like frolicking through the Highlands, if you will. But the fact that they use that song is exactly why Rick and Morty is the greatest show ever, because I don't know that anybody noticed this. I don't know that anybody picked up on it, but I'm watching here and I'm like, yeah, like that is, I'm watching. How have I never noticed that
That's why it's a rewatchable show. There's a million things like that.
Which, Coster, I know we were just talking about this, but like Queen did all of the music for Highlander and all of the music for Flash Gordon.
Now I'm gonna go on Spotify when I get home and just blast through that whole because I did not know that, and I am going to just be all over.
Have you watched Highlander?
No, I haven't seen. I've seen
It's
clips
so
from when we've had to pull them.
The very first, as is true with all lightning in a bottle scenarios, the sequels have their moments, like the Krugen or whatever, and Highlander 2, they're like all that stuff, whatever. Ramirez, but the first Highlander is so audacious and absurd, and the fact again that Queen, it's very Flash Gordon.
Yeah,
like I love Flash Gordon because you're watching it and you're like, dude,
this movie rules.
This movie absolutely rules.
Yeah,
like you're sitting there and it's like,
it's dudes rock.
Have you seen Flash Gordon?
Yeah.
No. The cereals from
I know only because you love music and you love Queen.
Yeah.
Should you watch both of these movies? You're sitting there watching Flash Gordon. Okay, Flash Gordon's an absurd movie about an American football player who is pulled into a space war to save the world. The premise is
save the universe.
Golden.
Yeah.
But you're sitting there and the movie starts and it's just like bum 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 Flash. And like and you're there. You're there, like your adrenaline's through the roof and you're ready. You're ready to go on the journey. Highlander, total opposite. Highlander is just absurd. And
they're both awesome.
It's Connor McLeod of the Clan McLeod. There can be only one.
Speaking of absurd, this movie is just beyond absurd. It hits. Are you right?
All right.
You're.
So my new Mac, because I'm kind of fancy, opens with my watch on, but I didn't turn my watch on. And I have to re-enter the password that took me 20 times to do this morning. So if you just bear with me here.
Are you a Mac boy yet? I love being a Mac boy.
I'm trying, dude.
Yeah.
I've
been since I was 11.
For me. Well, okay. I'm sorry. Let's get back to what we were talking about. Armageddon. Max, this movie came out in July of 1988.
July 1st. 1988? 1998.
1998. You were kind enough. It feels like 1988.
If this came out in 1988, there would be like an apocalypse on Earth. People wouldn't know how to handle it. Like their heads would explode.
There'd be vampires probably. When an asteroid threatens to collide with Earth, NASA honcho Dan Truman, played by Billy Bob Thornton, determines that the only way to stop it is to drill into the surface and detonate a nuclear bomb. This leads to renowned driller Harry S. Stamper, played by Bruce Willis himself, John McClane, who agrees to helm the dangerous space mission provided that he can bring along his own hotshot crew. Among them is cocksure AJ Ben Affleck, who Harry thinks isn't good enough for his daughter, Liv Tyler,
it's a roughneck,
until the mission proves otherwise.
So first of all, you're wrong. Truman doesn't suggest this plan. It's Ronald Quincy.
I know, played
by Jason Isaac, who's awesome.
I know, but at the end, he backs him up and says this is
but he's the smartest guy in the world.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, when your president's astrophysics guy got a C- at MIT, you got to take the advice of Jason Isaac. I love when people are the best of the best. Competency porn is my favorite thing ever. It's people who are, and they say the best of the best in this movie. Do you know what I mean? It's incredible.
There is, so first of all, when the opening scene of this movie, the opening credits,
the New York,
and you get a
dinosaur
before everything,
and
you get you get the Bruckheimer, and like that flashes me immediately to like Donner Bruckheimer, which obviously it was just Bruckheimer for this, but like it takes me back to my favorite '80s movies. The thing about Michael Bay. And
Bayhem.
I don't have a problem with just saying that this is okay. You've got Quentin Tarantino, who is this creative madman doing everything a different, unique way, art.
Well,
and then you have Michael Bay, who, for all intents and purposes, is just putting Rocky IV on loop. Yeah, this is Rocky IV sci-fi to me.
He's the best at what he does. So like,
he's amazing.
If you said to me, I want to look the coolest anyone's ever looked in a movie. You hire Michael Bay.
100%.
These low shots.
100%.
You got like this kind of
walking line of astronauts.
Yeah.
Like the badassery of this entire movie. This is it in 1998. That summer, I just finished my freshman year of college.
Oh, man.
I'm still holding on to like whatever little bit of like, coolness I had from high school. Yeah. This spoke to me in a way that is immeasurable. And then at 46, rewatching this, I have not watched this movie from start to finish in 20 years.
Oh, I watch it once a year.
That's hilarious to me. And I watched this movie and like I'm like, I know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Totally bought in. Now, stupid things like his relationship with his daughter make me cry. I'm like, I don't know that this bothered me as much when I was in a freshman in college, but now when I see like his like daughter crying and him saying, I'm like, well, there you go.
Then Grace.
Then I'll tell you the scene that has always made me cry when I watched this movie the first time and maybe one or two times in between, and then recently. The fractured relationship between the one dude and his ex-wife and the kid.
Oh yeah.
And then at the end of the
chick.
Yeah. And at the end of it,
that's your daddy.
That she shows up with him.
Yeah. I think it's kind of unfair though. Like she's mean to him the whole time.
Yeah.
And then she sees him on TV and instantly she's like, "That's your daddy.
Oh, wow.
We're gonna be rich."
I don't remember her saying that.
He didn't seem like an absentee father because he was at Caesar's Palace. He's clearly got a gambling
well,
problem.
and look, if the court said he's not allowed to just show up, there's probably some dark.
I mean, these guys are on ketamine. Remember they did the test.
Yeah.
Back then, by the way, they didn't even know how to pronounce ketamine. They say ketamine.
Let's talk about all of the tropes that are in this movie because there's a lot of tropes.
We'd be here forever.
I want to start with the tropes. So. As we were just talking about Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
One of my favorite Rick and Morty episodes is when like we got to put it's the Ocean's 11 episode.
Son of a
yeah.
I'm in.
This movie has the classic Voltron, like get all the parts of the
when these guys get off the rig, they scatter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then cut right to like Sweet Emotions by Aerosmith. Let's go get them.
By the way, I love this takes place within 24 hours. AJ has already set up his own
plot holes?
Drilling company.
If you think, just so we're clear, if you think tropes is going to take the whole episode, we go plot holes and we'll be here all day.
So scientifically, NASA has their people study this and see if they can find the inaccuracies. There's 168 scientific inaccuracies in this movie.
So Deep Impact came out the same time as this movie.
Completely different, really.
Completely different movie, but same premise. Comets coming to Earth, asteroids coming to Earth. And Armageddon mopped the floor with every statistic, every like thing you could ever want. From
$553 million.
Except Deep Impact won one award. It is much more scientifically realistic. What they did in Deep Impact than in Armageddon. Spoiler alert. We're not landing on a comet and drilling.
Asteroid. Call it an asteroid.
I'm sorry. We're not landing on an asteroid and drilling.
No. And also teaching oil drillers how to be NASA.
So you know the story. The most famous story about this movie is Ben Affleck goes to Michael Bay.
No, the director commentary. So this is what he explains.
It's amazing, and I'm paraphrasing it. And he says, "Well, I went to Michael Bay and I said, does it really make sense that that the drillers get trained to be astronauts? Wouldn't it make more sense to train the astronauts to be drillers?" And Michael Bay looked at him and said, "F you.
Yeah, shut the
f up.
Yeah. Incredible.
Yeah.
Because it is more fun. I mean, oil drillers are just salt of the earth. Like
it's the fish out of water part of this.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't work the other way around because NASA engineers, of course, could learn how to drill. No knock to our driller listeners.
Well, and it's the underdogs. It's the guys no one believes in. Like Keith David says he wouldn't trust these guys with a potato gun.
Yeah.
Using a word that we can't use anymore.
And then, by the way, I know I'm all Rick and Morty, but can you at this point in your life even listen to Keith David without hearing the president's voice from Rick and Morty?
It's impossible.
There's a lot to talk about in this movie. The one thing that kind of catches you off guard, I think, from the beginning of this movie is it plays like a highlight film. Like the entire movie is like short cuts of like unbelievable either toughness montages or like really high-end CGI.
So Roger Ebert called this the first 150-minute trailer.
Right.
Which is the most...
That's actually a really good way of putting it.
Yeah. But the thing is, I mean, if you think about the TikTokification of us, like the 15-second attention span, Bay was just ahead of the curve.
By 40 years.
Yeah. Well, he was originally a music video director, so he was all about visual attention and kind of movement and just being awesome. He didn't care about inaccuracies, and if you can direct like he does, who cares?
Yeah.
Like he has all these, and the fact that the ensemble cast is so loaded. Everybody has funny lines. Everybody has their hero moment. Yeah. There's a lot of tragedy in this movie too. Like the first time you saw it, you're like, I'm bummed out that Oscar died, or that like that the first ship crashed, or that you never have a moment breather where you're like, wait a second, let me think about this for a second. It just keeps moving.
On the flip side, that's what's hilarious about this movie is that it's the jump scare in a horror film. So you think that you've killed Jason or Freddy or Mike Myers.
Yeah.
And you know, even though you think you've killed them, that you have at least one more jump scare, maybe two. In this film, it's less of a jump scare and more of a, okay, we did it. No, we didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, we did it. No, we didn't. So even after, you know, they start drilling and they're making progress, and then they blow one transmission.
After like 38 feet.
And then AJ is like, all right, we're going to make it. And then he comes over. But then he's in there and it's like, all right.
Or Max blows up.
You got to trust me. I can do this.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, you make the call. But he does it. But they're still not done.
Yeah.
Because then AJ has to go in the hole. And then all of a sudden the thing becomes unstable.
The nuclear bomb, they're going to detonate it.
They're still not done.
Yeah.
Then the nuclear bomb has to have like detonation take place right there.
Yeah.
But you're still not done because we do the old swipsy swapsy and he pushes AJ back in the airlock.
Oh my God.
But then you're still not done because Harry falls down and he's got to climb up the actual hole to get to the thing. And like, to me, that you almost can't breathe.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, like, is this the last one?
For 2 hours and 30
minutes. Or does
minutes.
he click it and they're like, the battery's dead?
And also, they make the asteroid like a horror villain, like Jason. Like, they make it look gnarly with these weird piercings.
Yeah.
And like, even when it's about to like be exploded, it's like the asteroid attacks.
Yeah.
It's like it's like the asteroid's alive. Yeah. And they made like the green smoke around it too. And also the destruction of the cities, like the one in France and New York. They're pretty harrowing and pretty like Independence Day level
it's
of like. It's
interesting to your point, like them doing that, it as the viewer, it makes the stakes more real in what otherwise is a completely unrealistic film.
Yeah.
So like, you're like, oh wow, like they just casually wipe out 100,000 people.
Yeah. And you know what's weird too? They ground you. I don't know if anyone else has ever been as good at this for the perspective of like the Earth, the Americana, like the kids in barbershops looking up at the asteroid with their binoculars while the mechanic
that's his thing.
With like it, or like the people in India praying, you know, as a complete group or wherever it is. It's like for some reason he has a very good way of connecting humanity in these little like shots, and it just grounds you to like how big the stakes are. He makes it just gigantic.
You know, I think that's a little borrowed from you know who I think was the OG of doing that? Spielberg. Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Remember when all of them are kind of praying and they're doing ha ha and there's a gravitas to when you have that critical mass of people doing that. But by the way, that is used in so many films, not just Michael Bay films, but that's
I just think Bay has a really good. He like takes us back to 1950s America, even though it's not. Like it's like people listening to JFK getting shot. You know?
No, I agree. Yeah. I agree.
On like weird like transistor TVs and like radios with the earpiece in and all that kind of thing. Kids on bikes.
You're right. And then the other, it's funny because the other, you know, I'm thinking of Independence Day.
Yeah.
Independence Day, if you didn't know any better, you would think is a Michael Bay film.
Absolutely.
Like it has the exact same pacing and feel and like cut to, you know, everyone in different countries watching what's going on.
This looks sleeker though. This does.
Oh, this is unquestionably. It's actually in some regards less cheesy. The speech that he gives in Independence Day, which like everybody loves.
Survive.
Yeah, we're gonna survive. Today is our independence. Maya Quimby stands for but like that's
the presidential speech in this one is pretty harrowing. Actually, we were just like.
It's dark.
Yeah, it is.
It's all shadowy. Yeah.
By the way, do you know the president is also the president from the Rock movie?
No, that makes sense though.
Yeah, he used the same guy.
Well, you know the music in the score, which I didn't look, but I bet you was scored by the same person. That like those quiet moment, like almost a flute.
Yeah,
it's the same in The Rock.
Oh, okay.
If you think about when like when Nick Cage is going to get like the little box and retrieve it.
Mean? Must he really shot JFK?
Yes, yeah. So that has the same pacing and feel. And even just like the dropping to his knees when Nick Cage drops to his knees and lights the two flares and the slow-mo and the overhead shot of that. Like that's classic
when
Michael
Bruce
Bay.
hits the the button.
Yeah, classic.
So the 4 times I cried at this movie.
Here we go.
Can you guess?
Yes.
Okay.
You cried
there's 2 obvious ones.
Yeah, any father-son moment. So when AJ and Harry are having their moment,
says I love you.
It says I love you.
By the way, fun fact about that, you know, Ben Affleck was like seriously ill during that scene and had a flu and was vomiting off set.
Did not know
and
that.
He said in those scenes, people try to stay masculine. He just was so vulnerable and open. He's like, you know what I mean? Like this really loving expression. Bruce Willis was going to play it like straight, so he could really like amp it up.
Yeah.
So that's what the guy
good.
Made it. Yeah.
You cried during that for sure. I'm guessing that you cried when the mom said to the boy, "That's your dad."
Nope.
Okay.
Permission to shake the hand of the daughter of the bravest man I ever met.
Right. Really? All right. Okay.
That's a good one.
All right.
When the nuke bomb is like on And they're like, I've never failed to meet a depth of, and I will hit it. Swear in your daughter's life. And then he goes, then let's defuse this bomb. And you're like, yeah, we're back.
In literally 15 seconds.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, that is tense.
And the last one is the only F-bomb of this entire movie. And they use it in a very unique way. So it's when they say they're going to nuclear, like, set off the bomb from NASA.
Yeah.
And Grace goes, that's my father up there. And Billy Bob Thornton goes, there's one decision you shouldn't make, and you know it. And it's just
that made you cry.
I don't know why. It asked me up.
All right.
Yeah.
Weirdo.
Yeah.
This guy.
Yeah.
This guy.
Billy Bob's the best in this movie. When Billy Bob plays like mild-mannered characters, which is rare, it's just so disarming. He's such a charming, like, nice guy.
Oh, he's great. You said it. The cast is incredible. I mean, they it's not even that they waste people, but like the beginning of the movie, they have
Eddie Griffin.
Eddie Griffin's the dog owner. Do you know who the cab driver is?
It's Michael Curry from Hanging with Mr. Coop, right?
And more important, Living Single.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I mean, come on, don't forget that.
And also, by the way, Michael Bay has a cameo in this movie.
He does.
He's a scientist.
Well, you can't skip past the cab, because in the cab is the greatest cameo ever.
What, the Asian girls?
No, it's a tourist.
Yeah.
It's a man and a woman.
Yeah.
Do you know who the man is?
No.
Jesus, you're gonna die. Do you know the name Gede Watanabe?
No.
You should. It's Long Duck Dong.
Shut up.
That's Long Duck Dong, bro.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my
yes,
God.
It is. Yes,
I didn't realize that.
100%.
Yeah. By the way, the girl with the fake diamond in the New Orleans bar.
Yeah.
That's Shawnee Smith. Does she look familiar?
Yes. Why does she look familiar?
Who's Harry Crumb? She's the girl.
That's right.
And also, she's the pregnant chick from what's the Mark Harmon high school movie where Summer School?
Summer School.
Yeah, he's the pregnant girl.
Yes.
Yeah. This movie has so many fun parts, like the psychology tests
when
they're in the room.
Who is that guy? What's he in? The one shrink is in a ton of stuff.
He's the main bad guy vampire in Blade.
That's what it was.
He's also Hitler in the movie Hunters. Okay. He's in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. That entire thing is
this is you with breasts.
The whole training montage.
Yeah.
I mean, God, how do you not love a good training montage?
So they really got to use NASA stuff. So that's a 60 million gallon water tank that no one else is allowed to use.
Yeah.
They got to use $10 million actual spacesuits.
Well, think about it, right? Like that whole thing is very pro NASA.
Yeah. So they pitched it like this is going to be Top Gun for you, basically.
Yeah.
But
it really was Top Gun for oil rig workers.
NASA doesn't come off great. I mean,
no, they come off good.
Good, yeah.
The government is the one that the president and their dumb advisors are the ones that said nuke it.
Yeah.
I love how it's so funny. Again, Independence Day comparison. Like he's like, send the nukes, and they're like, they send a nuke. It does nothing to it, and they're like, yeah it's not going to do anything. Nukes aren't the solution, Max. That's the lesson.
I guess nukes could have taken it off course, though. Apparently, scientifically. We launched a bunch of them out there.
This movie, if anything, is scientific.
Well, actually, the one thing they had right is asteroids generally are two big pieces of rock that merge together, so there are fault lines.
All right.
So that's pretty cool.
Who wants to live forever?
Yeah.
Who wants to live forever?
You want to go to facts?
No. I've got so many quotes and things before we even go to facts.
What's the greatest quote of this movie? There's only one.
That's not true.
The's one I laugh at every time.
You tell yours, but there's a lot. Let
me make sure I get it right. Hold on one second.
While you look that up, you've got things like there's forget quotes. It's less about quotes and more about in the moment. It's the size of Texas, Mr. President. What type of damage? Total. It's a global killer. Yeah. End of mankind.
Not even bacteria will survive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. How about we have 18 days before it hits Earth, and then cut to this is great, right? This is Michael Bay's pacing. They say we have 18 days until it hits Earth, and then it cuts to Bruce Willis hitting golf balls at Greenpeace. Like, you immediately are learning what he's all about.
Yeah, your boyfriend's back. No nukes, no nukes.
Crazy Willie sent you. Afraid I don't know Crazy Willie, sir.
Just wanted to feel the power between my legs, brother.
And then the best is Buscemi. Harry, I swear to God, she never told me her age. So Buscemi, when he took this role, he was really trying to not get typecasted as like sleazeball creep. So when they originally built the role, like before he got it, the guy was supposed to be much more honorable. He gets the role, and they just immediately start making him a sleazeball creep and a nut job.
Yeah,
he steals the show of this movie.
He's perfect
for this movie.
I love that he's a genius too. That he knows everything.
When he got space dementia and they duct taped him to the chair, that's a thing. So NASA said both are things.
Okay,
space dementia, losing your mind in space is a thing, which is why a huge part of the NASA training platform is putting you under enormous psych pressure. Then their protocol for when someone goes cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs is to duct tape people to chairs.
So they actually got that right.
That's legit.
That's incredible. Your boyfriend's back. I love that line.
Yeah, right.
But my favorite one, what sums up this movie completely, like you laugh every time when Colonel Willie Sharp takes the gun and takes it out. And Chick goes, "Hey man, what are you doing with a gun in space?" Yeah. And you're just like, "Yes, what are you doing with a gun in space?" Do you not laugh at that line every time? It's
not the best line in the movie.
I guffaw. No, every time. It's just so funny.
I'm with you. It's not the best line in the movie, so you need to calm down.
What is? Harry man, they find a hole in your anus.
We haven't even talked about Owen Wilson yet, who's also who's absurd.
I'm like 90% excited and 2% scared, or
maybe it's the other way around. Also, the list of requests that they provide, like when they're like, "Yeah, we've got a list of things like never
unpaid
pay taxes,
parking tickets."
Yeah, that's funny.
Do you know that wasn't actually part of the script? They had the guys write what they would want.
That's amazing.
Yeah, what would you want?
The taxes one's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think they stole that one. I think I'd go with the taxes one, and then maybe a suite at Ford Field.
I'd want to be a diplomat so I could park anywhere too.
That's weird. The idea behind the secondary protocol. Again, I want to qualify this that this is where I glaze Michael Bay big time, because these are the types of cutaways and action sequences that I love. But it's like they never had a disclosure point in the film talking about the secondary protocol.
No,
you didn't know it existed
until Willie Sharp opens up the thing.
And then when he says secondary protocol, and then all of a sudden there are like soldiers that are in line with each other marching into NASA to take over everything. It's just great. It's great. It's goosebump inducing. Here's another good line. "Sir, the override, it's been overridden."
yeah, I remember that. I was like, this is bad writing. So, the writers for this movie are incredible.
Well, we're going to get to that because, yes, they are. And there's like 5 of them. And two of them are.
No, 3 of them are all-stars.
One of them is like, wow, I can't believe he wrote on this. J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
Spoiler
alert.
Yeah. You did You Swear on Your Daughter's Life. Yeah. Red or blue? Red.
No, blue.
2.46 seconds. They cut the freaking bomb with 2.46 seconds. Classic. The Russian. And that's the thing too, is like, just when you think that the ensemble cast is everything you need.
Yeah.
That's a good sign of an introduction late in a film of a good character that you like. And I want you to think for a minute of another movie where this has happened, where you've been introduced late in a film to a character that made the film for you that wasn't there for the rest of it. Because the introduction of the cosmonaut in this movie is fantastic. And he's got great lines too.
All made in Taiwan.
Have you ever heard of Evil Knievel? No, I never saw Star Wars.
That's Peter Stromoff. He's incredible.
Yeah.
He's in
But what other movie can you think of?
Actually him in Constantine.
Yes.
As Satan.
As Satan.
He's freaking incredible.
You know what though?
That's more of a cameo rather than
it's not that it's more of a cameo. No, you know what? You're right. I guess
makes that movie.
In my mind, I view him as the bad guy, but he really wasn't the bad guy, because introduction of the evil guy at the end of the movie happens. I'm talking more about like
in the middle of the movie.
In the middle of the movie.
I think. God, that's hard.
It doesn't happen very often.
No.
You get you get characters introduced in films, but it doesn't happen often where it's someone that you buy into and you're like, this guy's great.
Yeah.
The whole yeehaw ride 'em cowboy thing is absurd.
What do you mean yeehaw ride 'em cowboy?
When he's on the nuke, yeah. Again, the end, the cutting to all the different cultures celebrating
the wedding on the 8mm camera, which Ben Affleck directed actually.
It's funny. There's a little bit of a feel of what is the Thanos movie that I can't think of it?
Avengers
Endgame. There's a little bit of a feel of the on your right moment.
Yeah.
When AJ just gets to in radio distance and Harry's starting to pick up static in his ear, I go, oh, this has got a little
on
bit
your
of
left, by the way.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Did I say on your right?
Yeah.
I did. What a terrible
No,
mistake.
I just watched Winter Soldier for the first time.
Oh, Winter
last
Soldier's
week.
good.
It's awesome.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
When his son shows up, even just like the wrapping it in a bow aspect that Bay does in his movies, like even the stripper shows up at the end.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to. He's like, I want to have babies with you.
Yeah. What's her name? Minnie Mouse or
I don't know. I love when he's
the strip club scene, by the way, with the Aerosmith song.
Amazing.
Where is that strip club?
I know.
Yeah.
It kind of had a feel like White Rhino. It had a White
Spearmint
Rhino.
Rhino?
Spearmint Rhino.
You've been there?
What is my brain?
It's not.
I've read about it.
Yeah. It's not. It's not anywhere near as glamorous.
Yeah. I've been told.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever.
I went with my wife.
By the way, when they get married at the very end and they're doing that was Ben Affleck's idea to shoot it in Super 8.
Yeah.
If you look at the pictures and then the cut of where everyone is, In that row of guests, you see Chick's ex-wife. Well, I assume his ex-wife. She's at the wedding.
Yeah.
And sitting next to her is the mob boss that gave Buscemi all the money.
Maybe, I mean, like, once
they save the world, I get that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying...
I was wondering who that was, the fatter guy. Yeah.
I believe that
so
is the mob boss. And I just was like, maybe we're wrapping this a little too clean. Like, I don't, like, are they close? Are they friends?
Once you become an international superstar celebrity, everyone's going to, like, leech off you.
What, would there ever be anyone who is more? I mean, like, these guys would blow Kardashian out of the water. Like, they just saved the entire world.
Yeah.
They should do a belated sequel to this.
Yeah.
That's just them living like absolute like
morons.
Yeah, morons and like heathens. And it's it's gonna feel like in Ghostbusters 2, where like all of the shine is worn off and they're doing birthday parties.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Sadly, most of the cast is not.
I know.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about facts.
Yep.
All right, so this one's interesting, right? So the writer of Deep Impact, Bruce Joel Rubin, he said that he was talking about the plot to this movie while he was working and while he was on lunch with an executive at Disney. And then soon thereafter, the executive went back to Disney and began production of Armageddon. So the claim is that his idea was stolen. But I have to say, this does happen a lot in Hollywood where it seems like there's like these, accompanying films. Like
there's a rule of two thing that happens quite a few
times. There's always
the
like similar
and The Illusionist, or is it Illusionist? I can't remember. There's two like magic films.
Two Steve Prefontaine movies came out within the same year.
Yeah,
super weird.
Isn't that odd?
Yeah,
I mean, I guess it makes sense in this regard. If a larger studio is dumping hundreds of millions of dollars into a marketing campaign,
what do they know that we don't?
So let me give you a different example. Whenever the Home Depot opens a new location, Lowe's opens a location, or vice versa. The site evaluation that's done to say this area could support a Home Depot is the same site evaluation that's done to say this site could support a Lowe's.
Got it. So if they're polling that data, they're probably polling the same data.
They
can handle this.
Right.
Yeah.
So like similarly, if they are willing to invest this much money into a Armageddon type film, like there has to be some validity to it. Also, there's a little bit of synergy in the marketing of it because leading up to that movie, you get a little bit of critical mass. Like if you're talking about Armageddon, someone is saying, "Oh wait, is that the one with Morgan Freeman or the one without is Morgan Freeman in that?" Right?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
So I think that helps a little bit as well, but whatever.
Yeah.
All right, Max. 5 different screenwriters are credited either for screenplay or for the story of an adaptation by. I gave you J.J. Abrams. Who else?
Tony Gilroy, who's one of the best writers of the modern times. He did Michael Clayton. He did. Hold on, let me see. Give me a second.
Go watch Andor. Just go watch it.
No.
I
tried getting into it. I could not get into it.
It is one of the most moving television shows I've ever
really
watched.
I'm gonna have to go back. I'm gonna have to go back and
it's super powerful in a lot of ways.
Max disagrees.
Fine. No, I've just given up on Star Wars. I don't want to go back in. I'm not vested.
But just like it's not really like anything. It's not even close to anything that they've made recently. It's like completely different crew. It's Tony Gilroy. You should. I could see why you fell off though, because I think it's
the
a
first
slow
season.
burn.
I lost the first season. I kind of fell off.
Well, and I wouldn't blame you. I mean, it's a slow burn. I mean, it's a drama. This is not like your daddy's Star Wars. It is. There's not a lot of action, but it's so good. So,
but he also did Devil's Advocate, Proof of Life, the Bourne series, Star Wars, Rogue One.
Devil's Advocate's really good. So is Rogue One.
And Jonathan Hensley, who did Die Hard with a Vengeance, Jumanji, The Saint, The Punisher, Next, and The Ice Road.
There's an argument that Rogue One is like outpaces some of the original 3.
I hate that movie.
Rogue One?
There's only one redeeming quality. It's the Darth Vader just mauling everybody down.
I can at least tell you Rogue One's better. Rogue One is better than anything that was made outside of... I actually think Rogue One's better than Return of the Jedi. So my ranking is
crazy. The
original, Star Wars, Empire. I don't put Empire in front of the original.
You don't? No, Empire's first.
I don't do that because I just think that the breaking of the seal for that entire story starts there.
Fine, whatever.
And then I go Empire Strikes Back, and then I go Rogue One.
Okay. I don't agree, but whatever.
Who wants to live forever?
So pretty crazy. This movie for Bruce Willis was a payback. So he
not a payback. Well, you're wording it weird.
He had to pay back the studio.
Yeah.
So
but payback sounds like it's a vengeful thing. You're talking about John McClane. You're like, it was a payback.
Yeah. No, he did this.
John McClane.
He did this movie called The Broadway Baller.
Well, he didn't do the movie. That's the problem.
Well, he like directed and wrote it and like starred in it, and it couldn't be salvaged. So the way to exit the project was he had to do 3 movies for Disney. Those movies were this, The Sixth Sense, and Unbreakable. 3 of his most successful movies.
Yeah, he was sued. I mean, he was sued because he was such a monster on the set of that. So this is how he settled basically with Disney.
Wild.
He received $3 million instead of his usual 20 because he took less money, which ended up working out to his benefit because he got back end on the film. So Michael Clark Duncan.
Yeah, big guy.
Big guy.
Papa Bear.
Big Bear. Bummer that he passed away.
It's so sad.
It is. So his audition was fantastic.
Yep. This was his first movie.
Up to this point, he'd done little things.
Yeah.
Like he'd been like a background body. In the movie The Bodyguard, I think he was like in there and he little things here and there.
Yep.
But this was it. And he was so nervous that when they got to set, like he wasn't doing a good job. And I guess like Michael Bay and Bruce Willis pulled him aside. And they're like, if you don't get your energy back to where it was during the audition, you're not going to be on this. And that was like all it took. He's great in this.
Leaving on a jet plane, his deep voice, leaving.
But even not even just that, just like his range of he's not just big tough guy.
He's crying
when he's in the psych interview. Yeah,
like, can I get a hug or something?
He's great. Yeah, he's again. The beauty of this movie is there's nobody that I would say get rid of him, move him in. Like all the roles are played really well.
The one like Irish guy who's like kind of a no name on the his name I think is I can't remember his name. He's got a 5 o'clock shadow. Remember he wants his 2 friends to come over.
Well, there's always some.
Yeah, but you said no one. Yeah, he's.
Well, I guess what I'm telling you is like replacing him with someone who's a better actor wouldn't matter because he had 2 lines in the entire movie.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's nobody of substance that you would want to replace in here.
But you got to give Bay props. He never kills a dog. So he had the whole theory.
Can't kill the roughers.
So that dog in the beginning who Eddie Griffin had, that dog cost $20,000 a day.
Jesus Christ.
And they specifically trained it to destroy Godzilla and Godzilla-based images.
Yeah.
So they had to put up a wall between that and the Godzilla things because it would just attack it. And do you know why they did that?
No.
Godzilla was coming out 2 months after this.
Oh.
So they wanted
that was their way. That was
like
their
middle finger,
like
subconsciously be like
that.
Don't go see Godzilla.
I like that.
The 98 Godzilla wasn't great either.
So interesting story too. And I lived through this. Like, so I my girlfriend in high school, I dated her through college a little bit as well.
Dated.
So all right, just calm down.
Date her hard.
That's totally inappropriate. But I remember going to see the movie Titanic with her, and like that theater was packed for like a 6.5 hour.
Did she see it multiple times?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I also remember going to see Armageddon, and originally the script in Armageddon didn't have this kind of subtext love story.
Right.
And the success of Titanic made it so they were like, we need to capitalize on this because we can pull more people in. Because
it was smart.
There was a revival of like cheesy love story crap going on in film. So it makes sense. Competing with Liv Tyler to get this role, this would have been interesting. You ready? Robin Wright, Denise Richards, Mila Jovovich. I can't speak today. And she actually, Liv Tyler, turned down the role originally before she decided to accept it.
Turned it down twice.
Yeah.
And she works because those other ones are in your face, like gorgeous, like you can't stop thinking about them. She actually seems like she's Harry's daughter. Like the daughter aspect comes first before like the love interest. Do you know what I mean? Like, and maybe having a famous father is subconsciously like, you think Steven Tyler when you think her. You know what I mean? Like, there's something about it which is subdued enough where it's not like, don't force feed me this love story. Do you know what I mean?
So, Wedding Crashers.
Okay.
Follow me on this.
No, all right.
I need you to follow me on this.
Wow.
Clabba, the Owen Wilson,
Rachel McAdams?
Yeah. Love interest part of that movie. Unnecessary.
Yeah, I think so.
You could remove the entire thing and give me more of the absurdity, and I'd be happy. Like it felt forced. I didn't like it.
Yeah. The last 20 minutes of the movie drags because of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The romantic interest with
AJ.
No. Going back to Wedding Crashers.
Sacha Baron Cohen's wife and Vince Vaughn.
And Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
There's nothing serious about it. Yeah. Like I want more of that.
Yeah.
Right. In Armageddon, I think that you surgically remove the entire love story and you have a better movie. And I don't feel that way about all movies, but I don't think that the love story is at all necessary. And I know Like the entire animal cracker scene is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
But it's fun to laugh at.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm not complaining about the movie. It's a guilty pleasure. I just don't think it's necessary.
So I think it's more cathartic at the end for this movie where you've been terrorized for 2.5 hours, that when Harry sacrifices himself, one, it's for AJ, who's like the new generation, and two, that he's passing his daughter on to someone who can take care of her.
So can I give you an alternate scenario?
What, she becomes an oil driller?
No, she has nothing to do with any of this at all. Or keep the daughter and like keep the friction between the daughter and Harry. So let that continue. Like let her fight with Harry about even taking the job in the first place. You're not qualified. You shouldn't do this. Let that exist. And there be no relationship. Then at the end, that reconciliation, you can still have the AJ Harry reconciliation. And then when you cut to the future, it's a sign that they had of AJ's drilling company, except all the guys are working for AJ now. And he's like doing it in Harry's honor and doing a great job.
Okay.
It would have worked just as good. Like you didn't need the love part of it.
Okay. Yeah.
In what otherwise was a high pace action film.
I thought it was nice.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Oh, you're lame.
Yeah. But do you know Ben Affleck's teeth were fake for this movie?
I did not.
So he had baby teeth. Michael Bay, apparently him and Michael Bay didn't get along. Ben Affleck called him baby teeth all the time. So he made him get $20,000 dentures, or like Jesus. Teeth. So, and also Bruce Willis hated working with Michael Bay so much, he'd never work with him again.
Wow.
Even though this movie made so much money.
I've heard Michael Bay is a monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, most great directors are, sadly. Yeah.
Instead of building a set, which is what you would normally do, they actually filmed on a real oil rig, which usually is like, it was in Galveston, Texas, which is unheard of because A, the cost, and B, the danger.
The oil rig is $400 million worth of equipment. This movie has $19 billion worth of equipment in it.
That's crazy.
Isn't that insane?
That's insane. So,
I mean, like the fact that they got to use all the NASA stuff, like where Apollo 1 exploded, where Affleck and Liv Tyler are having that romantic moment.
Yeah.
That's a big deal to film there. I mean, it's crazy that they convince people. It really gives the effect of the movie. Like, Bay knows how to take these giant sets and just make you be like, wow, how did they do that?
The management of that, I mean, you brought this up, I think. You could be repeating the numbers, but the movie cost $140 million.
Yep.
Massive number at the time. The Armageddon made $201 million domestically and $553 worldwide.
Insane.
That's the highest grossing film in the world at the time. Second highest grossing film in the United States.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And for original IP.
Yeah.
Is that you?
That's me.
Embarrassing.
Well, I'm just getting used to how these things work. Unlike you, who's had a Mac his whole life. You disrespectful little.
Like you said, this is like one giant trailer. There's one cut every 1.5 seconds on average.
God.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
So the editing must have been insane.
I know you mentioned that Siskel liked this and Ebert did not. Let me give you Ebert's quote. The movie is an assault on the eyes, the ears, the brain, common sense, and the human desire to be entertained. He named it the worst movie of 1998 and would later include it on his list of the worst movies ever made.
Man, even when I disagree with him, he has bars.
Yeah.
Like that is just such a thing to say.
It's so aggressive.
Can you imagine you worked on this movie for like 9 months, you put your heart and soul into it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Billy Bob said it was for the paycheck. Bruce Willis was for the paycheck.
They had fun. You can. I don't think you can fake having fun. Who wouldn't have fun in such a like? Yeah. But I think that these movies are dead. I don't think you're ever going to get a movie like this again.
No, we don't have disaster movies
because I think not even just disaster movies, but like I think that you get superhero films, but everybody's too cool to be lame like this.
Yeah.
That this is like the generation. Yeah, like people would rather. Everybody is all about looking cool. Yeah. Skinny jeans and millennials.
Superhero landing.
Yeah. Put that out a quote. Skinny jeans and millennials. Nobody's willing to just be unapologetically absurd and put an animal cracker on Liv Tyler's chest and say, all right, we're going through the Outback. Yeah. We're going to have a little snack here.
I don't know. I just watched The Thunderbolts. David Harbour.
I did not watch that, but I heard
it's great.
A couple people told me it's really good.
I liked it.
You liked it? Yeah.
But David Harbour is willing to be like just vulnerable and awful and like, you know what I mean? Like just kind of cheesy.
Who wants to
I think like James Gunn movies can go absurd, but also but they can like handle the actually emotional.
Yeah, but that's
parts
what I'm saying
too.
For superhero films. That's I mean that's the only place where I feel like people feel safe to be that way because I think that they shrug it off as saying comic books. It's from a comic book. We can be that way. You know,
Sinners.
I've not seen Sinners.
It's really good.
Sinner. That's all I think of.
Qualify. I mean, it's got that camp in it a little bit, but I mean, it's quite. I don't know. I don't know if I'd fully qualify what you're saying there.
Well, Max is usually wrong.
Yeah, it's true.
Actors and actresses, or do you have more facts?
So, I mean, Michael Bay, youngest director to make $1 billion movie.
Yes, he is.
He's friends with George Lucas, so he gets a lot of inspiration from him. Music.
That was almost a sentence.
Music video starred. He did Styx, Vanilla Ice, House of Pain, Tina Turner, Young MC, Meatloaf. I Won't Do That. Remember that video? Yeah. That's Michael Bay.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, the movie is just all rule. Bad Boys, The Rock, Pearl Harbor, The Island, Transformer series, Pain and Gain, 13 Hours, 6 Underground, and Ambulance. Seen them all. Love them all. Yeah. Could watch them any time of day, anywhere. Yeah. Any of those you haven't seen?
Pain and Gain.
Oh, it's with The Rock and Mark Wahlberg.
No, I know.
It's funny. It's really good.
Was Ambulance good? I remember the whole trailer scheme and being like, oh, Michael Bay film.
Yeah,
and it was...
Gyllenhaal is really fun.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Maybe I'll check it out.
It's a good premise. Be prepared to waste 2 hours for no reason, but it's fun.
That's what we do.
Bruce Willis, Harry S. Stamper. Do you think they did that because of Harry S. Truman?
I don't think so. I mean, what would be the...
Well, why'd they put just the S? Like, it's weird that yeah. So he's not an American citizen. He's born in Germany.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. One of the best celebrity tippers ever because he used to bartend.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has one of the most interesting careers because he works with so many good directors. And a lot of his movies are flops, but like he hits every so often randomly.
Yeah.
Die Hard, Look Who's Talking, Bonfire of the Vanities, Last Boy Scout, Pulp Fiction, 12 Monkeys.
Have we done The Last Boy Scout?
No, I've been begging.
Every time I do this, you say I've been begging. Yeah. The problem is because you have literally asked to do every single movie.
Can we do Last Boy Scout next?
Yeah, I think we're going to do Last Boy Scout next week.
Yeah. 12 Monkeys.
Have you seen The Last Boy Scout?
No.
Dude. All right.
Best opening scene of all time.
I'm going to make a deal because we do this all the time.
Really? I got some
I'm going to make a deal. I'm going to make a deal. Max and I are going, I'm going to give us each like 3 playing cards from a deck. And when we cash these playing cards in, you have to watch the movie. I'm cashing in one of my cards right now. You have to watch The Last Boy Scout before our episode next week. Like it is outrageous.
It's great alcoholic cop.
So good.
Bruce Willis.
It's John McClane
with football.
With football.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's outrageous.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I'm in.
All right, sorry. Continue.
I always worry like
what a bummer with his medical issues right now.
Yeah, but every time I watch a Super Bowl, every time someone gets the first kickoff, there's a 1% chance I'm worried that's going to happen.
Christ, Max.
Does that happen to you or no?
No, it doesn't. Okay, I'm not an idiot. Continue.
It's like, is he going to do it?
No, he's not. By the way, I do not think that we can go through every single actor and actress who are going to be on the podcast.
We'll go fast. Billy Bob Thornton, Dan Truman, married 6 times, plays the same role pretty much all the time. Bad Santa. Friday Night Lights, he rules. Landman recently is awesome.
Santa's amazing.
And when he plays himself, he's awesome. But he's very kind of held back in this movie, which I like a lot. Ben Affleck playing AJ Frost. Affleck rules. I mean, just
Affleck.
Yeah. Thank you.
No problem. Felt that you need to do that.
Good Will Hunting, Dogma, Shakespeare in Love, Argo, Gone Girl, Justice League. I mean, he plays freaking Batman. Yeah.
Freaking Batman.
Liv Tyler, Steven Tyler's daughter. She didn't meet her dad till 1988.
You were born in the darkness. I was born in the darkness. You merely adapted.
Live means life in Norwegian. I didn't know that. Aerosmith videos, Empire Records.
And she didn't find out that Steven Tyler was her dad till like halfway through her life or some nonsense. Isn't that true?
I just said that 2 seconds ago.
I wasn't listening. I was
1988.
I was thinking about Bane Cat. I was watching a lot of Bane Cat this morning. Sorry.
Start the day with Bane Cat.
Control. The illusion of control.
And Lord of the Rings, she rules.
Cat treats.
Yeah. William Patton, who's so underrated, plays Chick.
Yes.
And he's in Desperately Seeking Susan, After Hours, No Way Out, The Client, Copycat, The Postman, Entrapment, Gone in 60 Seconds, Remember the Titans, he's the other coach.
Yep.
Roadhouse 2, which I didn't know existed.
The Roadhousing.
Yeah, and Yellowstone and Silo.
Mm-hmm.
Buscemi rocks, used to be a firefighter.
Yeah.
Volunteered during the World Trade Center attacks. Billy Madison, he's really funny. Yeah,
he's great in Sandler movies.
Escape from L.A., Big Lebowski, Wedding Singer, Big Daddy, Monsters Inc. He's Randall's voice. I didn't know that.
We're gonna go to. You're probably gonna go to William Fincher next.
Yeah, Colonel Willie Sharp.
So
you know he's attached earlobes.
No, but one of the. God,
it's weird. I'm telling you. Look at his face.
I know.
Look it up.
Do you remember
weird?
I will. It's just it came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Do you remember the movie Go?
Yeah, he's the weird cop.
The weird cop with
who wants to have a threesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Go's amazing.
Yeah, I love Go.
Virtuosity too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's in that sitcom with what's his face's ex-wife, and she's in recovery, and he's in a wheelchair in the sitcom.
I don't know that one.
Anna Faris, is that her name?
Yeah, I don't know what show.
You've never seen her show?
No.
It's her and her mom, and they're both recovering alcoholics. And her mom
sounds like a bummer.
No, it's funny. It's a comedy, and her mom's boyfriend is William Fichtner.
Oh, cool.
But he's in a wheelchair. Not that that's bad.
But his most important 2 roles are Heat. He's Van Sant. Yes. He's a bad guy.
Yep.
And also Dark Knight. He's the bank manager.
The bank manager.
You and your friends are dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you believe in? What do you believe in? I believe what doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger.
You know, your Joker and my Bane.
Yeah.
We could have something. We could have a little something. Do some more Joker.
No, I can't do it when I'm...
Oh, you must do the Joker.
Owen Wilson.
In the darkness, the Joker laughs.
Plays Oscar. Marley and Me, Wedding Crashers.
Why are you ignoring the darkness,
Royal Tenenbaums, Meet the Parents. I mean, he's had some rough times apparently, but okay, I'm gonna speed run the rest of them. Michael Clark Duncan, R.I.P. Yes. He was a bodyguard for Will Smith. Jamie Foxx gave anyone in public $5 who would recognize him.
Oh,
I thought that's cool.
That's cool.
Night at the Roxbury, he's the bouncer, a whole 9 yards, Green Mile.
Right. Yeah.
Peter Stormare rules as the cosmonaut. He was in Fargo. He's one of the bad guys. Jurassic Park, Lost World, 8mm, Minority Report. He's the doctor. Remember, he's the plastic surgeon. Takes Tom Cruise's eyes. Yeah. Constantine, he's the best Satan ever.
All right, let's slow down. You don't need to speed read through all these. We don't need to cover them.
Okay.
It's a lot.
Okay, fine.
Nobody's picking up on this.
Okay, fine. There's one.
Go to one that you like.
Yeah. This is my favorite.
There you go. Thank you.
There he is moment.
Gotcha.
You don't recognize him, but there's someone in this movie who's from another movie iconically, and you would never guess it's him. It's incredible.
Go on.
Colonel Davis, who runs the spaceship. Colonel Davis, who runs the spaceship that gets blown up.
Yes.
Does he look familiar to you?
No.
Those bright blue eyes, that intensity. That is Marshall Teague. That is Jimmy from Roadhouse.
Shut up.
Yes, it is.
I used to blank guys like you in prison.
Yes,
Jimmy from Roadhouse.
That's him. Yeah. It's freaking Jimmy.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had no idea.
It's amazing. I love it so much. Keith David, shout out. The best from They Live. President from Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the guy who played Max, too. He doesn't do much, but he's awesome. By the way, his
name is Max.
No, it's not. It's Ken Hudson.
No, I'm saying in the movie his name, because your name's Max.
Groundhog's Day, he's the man in the hallway.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good weather we're having. Yeah.
So this movie rules.
Max, is there anything else you want to cover before we head on over?
I just want to say, be okay with loving movies.
Good job, Max. There you go. Yeah. Moving on to our Buzz in the Tower fan spotlight. Max, who do we have for this week's Buzz in the Tower fan spotlight?
Superfan James Roach. Listen to the podcast every week. I worked with him back in the day bartending. He now does real estate.
Ooh.
Yeah, but one of my favorite movie guys. We see movies together all the time. Super nice guy.
Cool.
And he's got an eye for excellence, so I think you'll like this.
An eye for excellence. What? Jesus, what a weird thing to say.
Sorry.
No, leave it. It's great. Let's see what his excellence brings us today. Let's look at his eye.
Yeah.
Show me your eye, James.
Hey guys, this is James coming out to you from Livonia, Michigan. Huge fan of the show, and also huge fan of Armageddon. It's got to be my favorite Michael Bay movie out of everything that he's ever put out. And I mean, just given you got to think about the cast here. We got Michael C. Duggan, we got Billy Bob Thornton, Owen Wilson, Bruce Willis, Ben Affleck, Steve Buscemi. It's just insane they even kind of got all these guys to sign on for this movie, which, if you have ever been to a middle school science class, is just makes no sense. Nothing in this movie is actually scientifically possible. But that's also what makes it so great, is just how ridiculous the actual premise and what happens in this movie is. And that's just really what makes it one of my favorites out of all the kind of disaster genre movies that are out there. I mean, I feel like no one's going to have a bad time watching Armageddon. But thanks for having me on, guys, and I hope you have a great day.
Max, he did an awesome job. He's got an eye for excellence. I'll tell you that right now.
He does.
That's absolutely.
4 eyes.
I love the 7th grade science fair.
Yeah. You're like, where's he going with this?
Yeah, no, that's
totally true. We didn't establish this is the best Michael Bay movie, right?
Yeah. Transformers was... I think
the first one was awesome.
It's been a little tainted by the fact that there've been so many, but when that first came out,
I was
a
like,
big deal. Holy!
You sure it wasn't just Megan Fox?
Well, no, that's to show you what a dork I am. That was secondary to me.
No.
Oh yeah, for me, dude, you can't be in your 40s and grown up with Prime, and the fact that they got
Peter Wellers.
Why was I going to say Cullen?
Were you going to say Garth Brooks?
No,
Peter Cullen.
Peter Cullen. Yeah,
Peter Wellers is RoboCop.
Yeah, thank you. Duh. By the way, you make me second guess myself.
We have too much
pop knowledge. Yeah, I know. It's so true. Richard Dreyfuss. What's he have to do with Mr. Dreyfuss?
You know where Strife is.
I found this series of AI videos, and it's some song. I don't know what the music is, but it's runway models. So it's two people walking down the runway. And the two people walking down the runway are like, I'll give you like one example was Mel Gibson, like today. And next to him is Mad Max from the first one.
Yeah.
And I started going through all those, and Peter Weller was one of them with RoboCop, and it's like RoboCop walking down, and then Peter Weller's. And I was like, and there's got to be 20 of these videos. I spent an hour going through all of them.
It's really cool.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Next, repost that
I
jazz on the old interweb. All right. That concludes our episode on Armageddon. Again, just a reminder, follow, rate, review, Apple, Spotify. If it's out there, we're on it. YouTube.com @BuzzInTheTower is our YouTube page where you can see all the behind the scenes stuff. Where the darkness starts. Never. And patreon.com/BuzzInTheTower to support the show. BuzzInTheTower.com is our website. Our sponsor, 80stees.com. I'm wearing one of their shirts right now, the Miyagi-Do shirt. And what am I forgetting?
I don't want to close my eyes.
Social media @BuzzInTheTower.
I don't want to fall asleep.
Max.
Because I miss you, babe.
Okay, please stop.
And I don't
You're
want
hurting
to miss
everybody's
a thing.
ears. You're hurting my ears.
Daddy, no.
How do you want to end this episode? I, by the way, have the best end to an episode that I've ever had.
The Steven Tyler is how I wanted to end it.
Go ahead. Oh, you already did?
Yeah.
Okay, you ready for mine?
Yep.
Bye, Max. Take care, buddy.
Oh, bye, Max. Oh, yeah.
Take care. Remember?
Yeah.
See, there you go. I thought you'd like that. All right. I'll see you next week.